price the flour. For some, the price is life and the chance to eat. For others, the price is death. The Israelis say their shots were fired in warning, yet they killed 50 Palestinians and injured more than 400. The dead carted away by donkeys. What a sorry final journey. For some, there is a different journey. But how grotesque a situation when children as gravely injured as these are the lucky few. Injured by war and unable to recover without proper food, they're being allowed to leave Gaza for treatment abroad. It takes just a few hours to cross to the safety of Jordan, but it could be a different world. These are the children who had the misfortune to become sick during war. When Israel restricts supplies to Gaza, it restricts the chance to survive or recover. And yet, speaking with them, it's not the trauma of life in a war zone or a cancer diagnosis which causes the greatest distress. It's the hunger and the hungry they have left behind. Noor is 13. She has lung cancer.
I just ate a sandwich and I was crying tears for my family back home who have nothing.
The hunger and starvation are a catastrophe. We were not like this. It's the starvation. They gave us food in the bus and she was crying and I was crying for my kids still there.
Every family we've spoken to here has told us how difficult it's been to try and find food inside Gaza. And the medics have said that this is the first time they've had to take casualties out who are suffering from severe hunger. Back in Gaza, hungry doctors tried to care for the hungry and sick who were not on the list to leave. Sham has a liver condition. Her immune system is failing, which doctors say is due to a lack of nutrition. At 5 months old, Farah is closer to the weight of a child half her age.
How long will this catastrophe continue? Is this an execution of children? Our kids are executed one after the other. Until when?
There are no answers to his questions, but the reality for many of his patients is the war will outlast their fragile lives. Emma Murphy, ITV News, Jordan.
Well, the Prime Minister has told ITV News he listens to hostages after a British-Israeli woman who was held captive criticised his pledge to recognise a Palestinian state. Emily Damari accused Sir Keir Starmer of moral failure over the move. Our political correspondent Harry Horton is in Westminster for us. And Harry, the Prime Minister is facing some difficult questions over that promise that he made on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. And the central question Keir Starmer is facing is whether the UK is prepared to recognise a Palestinian state whilst Hamas is still holding Israeli hostages captive. Keir Starmer said earlier this week he was announcing this intention to declare a Palestinian state now because he thinks this is the best time to try and change the situation on the ground in Gaza. And we heard in Emma's report there about the horrendous suffering going on in Gaza. But there's been a backlash in the last few days from Jewish groups and from families of hostages, and in particular from one former hostage, Emily Damari, who was held captive by Hamas for 15 months. She said that she believes recognising a Palestinian state whilst hostages remain captive risks rewarding terror. Keir Starmer has spoken to her, he's met with her mother, and he was asked by ITV News today about Emily Damari's comments.
We must have the remaining hostages released. That's been our position throughout. And I absolutely understand the unimaginable horror that Emily went through. Alongside that, we do need to do everything we can to alleviate the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza.
Well, the government have been under pressure from many of its own MPs to make this announcement about recognising a Palestinian state, but it's the way that it's been announced that has prompted this backlash from so many others.